Imran, and I'm going to go ahead and train you on to how to develop a theme right from scratch. And in this video, I'm going to also go ahead and tell you what will be the path to learning this theme development series. Okay, so let's begin then. So we're going to use the underscores dot me, so underscore theme basically. All right, and we can type the name of the theme that we want to develop over here. Okay, and we can click on generate, and then it will give us the zipped folder. And as you can rightly see over here, let's increase the font. It'll give you 404 template, custom header.php, template tags, template functions.php, navigation.js, and all of different set of files will be pre-generated. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and unzipped this file, and I've gone ahead and included that into my project, into my WordPress under the themes folder in the WP contents. So inside WordPress, themes folder, inside of which I have my theme, which is the name is Cornova, and that's what we had given over here. Okay, so if you go ahead and activate that theme, so I've already activated it. Okay, and if you refresh, you can see that this is the blank theme. I mean, there's not much style on this, just a blank theme basically. So we've got all the post over here. This is the menu, this is the site title, site description, and the post title, post content, and then you have the thumbnails and everything. Okay, so you can see that we've got different set of files: 404 file, archive, comment, footer, index.php, and different set of files over there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start from scratch. Instead of just using this theme to explain to you what these files are, we're going to build the theme right from the start. But just to let you know that I've taken the reference of the underscore theme while training you onto that. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete the entire file first, this directory first. Okay, and let's create a new folder, and let's name it Cornova. That's our theme name. Okay, for any theme, the main files that are required, which is a must, is the style.css and your index.php. If you just make these two files, then you'll be able to go ahead and activate the theme. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's create a file, style.css, which is your main style sheet for your theme, and let's create an index.php. Okay, so we've got our two files over here, and inside of this style.css, what we need to do is, I'll share that with you. So we need to put these set of quotes. Okay, so I'll explain to you what's going on over here. Let's increase the font. So first is the theme name, which is the Cornova. That's the name of the theme. Then you have the theme URI. Okay, so theme slug would be Cornova over here. So I put theme slug as Cornova. Okay, and then the author name is my name over here, and then the author URI. Description, what this theme is all about, multi-purpose theme. Okay, version number, so this is my first version. Okay, and then the license, which will be this, license URI, text domain, so this is my text domain, Cornova. Okay, tags, translation ready, custom background, theme options, custom menu, and all of that. Okay, and then all of this information, you put it over here, and it's based on the underscores, http underscore.me. That's the path to where you can download the underscore theme from. Okay, so all of this information is given. And once you do that, if you go on to the WordPress backend, you can see that we now have this particular theme. Okay, so let's just, sorry. Okay, so we now have the theme over here with just two set of files. One is the style.css and second is index.php. Okay, so once you have these two files, you will be able to go ahead and activate your theme from here. Okay, but if you notice, it'll be blank because we haven't put anything inside that. Okay, so we'll go step by step, discussing each of the files and different functions that you'll be using to develop the theme. Okay, so now what we can do is we can create a screenshot.png file, okay, which will be the screenshot of our theme. So I'm going to go ahead and paste my screenshot.png file into this. Okay, and once you do that, then you can see that now we have a screenshot over here. Okay, now we have a screenshot over here. And click on theme detail. We have the author name, name of the theme, version number, the description, the tags, and all of that stuff. Okay, cool. So next thing we can do is that we can go ahead and create a CSS folder for our custom CSS files and the third-party CSS files. So we'll create a folder CSS. Okay, and we will include the foundation.css and normalize.css into the CSS folder. So you can go onto the foundation website. This one. Okay, and you can click on download foundation and it'll give you a zipped file. So let's download that. Download everything. You can download different sort of things. So you can see that this is giving me a zip file, so I'm going to unzip that. So you can see I've gone ahead and unzipped that, and after unzipping I'm going to just take the foundation.js and I'm going to go ahead and put that file into my CSS folder. Okay, I'll put that there. And then what we need is normalize.js. Sorry, it's not the foundation.js, it's the foundation.css we need to copy. So I'll just go ahead and delete that. And paste the foundation.css. And now we need normalize.css. So you can search for normalize, click on it, click on download, just copy the whole thing. Okay, just copy the whole thing. And then create a file called normalize.css inside of the CSS folder. Name it as normalize.css and just paste the whole thing there. Okay, so that's how we have the foundation.css and normalize.css. Right. Okay, so normalize.css basically makes the browser render all the elements more consistently and in line with the modern standards, and it precisely targets only the styles that need normalizing. Okay, and if you remember, the foundation.js is basically, if you want everything in the framework simple, then you can use this as well. All right. Right. Then what we need to do is we need to create a JS folder. So now we'll go into our theme. So we'll create a JS folder. Okay, and then we had the foundation.js, foundation.min.js, all of this. So I'll share that with you. So app.js, foundation.js, foundation.min.js, modernizer.js, all of this we need to copy and paste into JS folder. So we have the app.js, we have the foundation.js, we have the foundation.min.js. All of these files are there in the foundation that we had downloaded um, from foundation Zerb. Okay, so we can go ahead and paste that, and then we also need the modernizer, which I will go ahead and get that in a moment. So I'm going to pause the video and paste all of these files. So app.js, foundation.js, app.js, foundation.js, foundation.min.js. Okay. So as you can see, I've pasted the app.js, foundation.js, and foundation.min.js into my JS folder of my theme. Okay. Now we need to also download the modernizer.js. Okay. Which tells you what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript features the user's browser has to offer. You can click on the development build, select what all option you want, and then click on build. Okay, and then you can download it. Okay, and then you have the Modernizer custom.js. You can just change the name to just modernizer.js, and you can paste it in your JS folder. I'm going to do that now after pausing the video. So I'm going ahead and pasting that here. I've changed the name to modernizer.js and I pasted it here. Okay, cool. Now next what we need to do is we need to include the functions.php where we'll write all the main functions. So go ahead and create a file called functions.php inside of our themes root directory. Okay, so you got a function.php, and we'll define different set of functions. So I'll just go ahead and create that and show that to you. Okay, so in the functions.php, what's happening over here is that we are defining first we are defining different set of constants. Okay, so Cornova is the name of my theme. Okay, so Cornova underscore version is basically this is a constant that I've defined over here, which will contain the version number. Okay, Cornova temp URI basically is going to give us the path up until the uh, themes root directory. So it's going to give me the URI up until the root directory. Cornova temp directory is going to give us the path, the file path till the root directory of our theme. Cornova CSS URI is going to give us the path up until our CSS folder, okay, of our theme. And then similarly, Cornova underscore JS underscore URI is going to give us the path up until the JS folder of our theme. And then it's just going to give us the path up until images. So we can also create a folder called images where all our images are going to reside. Okay, and then we have the Cornova is dev, this constant, okay, be set to true. Okay, and then we are going to go ahead and define different set of functions. So at this moment we're not going to discuss any of the functions, okay, which I've defined over here. We will discuss them step by step, but just for you to know that for now we've got our functions.php file and we have defined our different set of constants. So all right, also inside of our app.js we are going to include this code, which is it's a self-executing function. We are passing jQuery, and jQuery will be referred as the $sign using use strict, and then we are saying document.foundation. So we are calling this function basically to go ahead and include the foundation. Okay, also inside of our functions.php we also need to include these files. We need to include our style sheet, we need to include our JavaScript files, we need to include our CSS files, the foundation.css and normalize.css. In order for us to do that, what we need to do is we need to define a function instead of a functions.php, which will be a custom function. You will always use the namespace, which is we're going to prefix the custom functions with our theme slug. So in this case, it's Cornova underscore scripts. The first function we are defining over here is WP style, and the first parameter it takes is the foundation, is basically the handle. Okay, so if we go on to codex and we check the WP style function, so we can see that this function basically enqueues a CSS style sheet. Okay, so it enqueues the style sheet, and the first parameter it takes is the handle. Okay, name of the style sheet should be the enqueue, so we can give it a unique name. So over here we're using foundation underscore CSS because we're going to include our foundations CSS file. Okay, and then the second parameter it accepts is the source, and source is actually the full URL of the style sheet as to where the style sheet is located. So over here it's located under the CSS folder, and hence we are using our constant, and constants are very useful because otherwise we had to type it get template directory URI, but now we don't have to do that because we've defined a constant for that. Okay, so you're going to use a constant. So this constant is going to give us the path up until the CSS folder, and then we're saying oblique foundation.css, so we're defining the path. In this function we're not using the rest of the parameters, we're just using two, and this is going to include the foundation.css, and then we're using the WP style normalize.css, so you can also include that as well. Okay, similarly, and then WP style, then we're going to use the Google fonts if we want to include any Google fonts basically. So for example, if we go on to Google fonts site, so let's say we want the Montserrat, so we'll click on that and we'll click on select font. Okay, and then we can also customize it. For example, if we want it to be medium or bold and all of that. Okay, so we can select that. Okay, and it says that you need to include this link basically in your style sheet. So this is the link that we have here. This link is something that we copy and we paste it over here, and we give it a unique name as handle as Google fonts, Google underscore fonts underscore CSS. Okay, so later on if you want to register it, you can. So this is the link that I've already copied over here and pasted over here. So this is going to include the Google fonts for us. From an external site, and then we are including our main style sheet, which is style.css, and for that what I've done is I've used the get style sheet URI, which is going to give me the path up until the style sheet of my theme, the main style sheet. So it's going to give me the path up until style.css. Okay, so in this way, using this function, all of the style sheet will be included: foundation.css, normalize.css, style.css, and all of that. Okay, and then we have the WP register script function to include the scripts, the JavaScripts. So let's check that function as well. So this was WP style, and now we're going to check the WP script. So this function, as you can see, WP script, it also accepts handle, which is a unique name. Okay, so over here we're going to include the Moderniser, so named as Moderniser, and then the second parameter is basically the source, up until the file. So I'm using my constant. This is going to give me the path until the JS folder. Okay, and then I'm including the modernizer.js file with that. Okay, and then the next parameter is the dependency. Should this file be loaded after a certain file, so we're keeping it blank. And then it's asking for a version number, we're keeping it blank. And then do you want it to be in the footer or not? So we're putting that as false, which means we want this in the header section of our theme. Okay, so that's what these parameters are all about. Okay, and similarly we are including our foundation.js, and we are saying that the jQuery is a dependency. We all know that WordPress has the preset libraries that it provides us, so we don't have to really include jQuery. If we want to include jQuery into our project, all we have to do is just put a dependency over here, and then it'll ensure that this file will be loaded after jQuery loads. Okay. Similarly, we have included the app.js file as well using the same function, and we are putting the dependency as jQuery, foundation.js, and modernizer file, which means that app.js will be loaded after these files, and we are saying true for these, which means this will be loaded just before the body tag ends, so in the footer. Okay. And then we are including the main.js, which is our main JS file, and let's go ahead and make that as well. So this is a JavaScript file. Let's keep it as main. Okay, so this will be a main JavaScript file. Okay, and then we are going to enqueue these scripts. So this is a register script. Basically, this registers all of these, and then we are going to use the enqueue script to enqueue these into our theme. Okay, so we're using wp enqueue script, and then we are giving the handle name app.js and main.js, etc. Okay, and then over here, so I'll go ahead and explain this function later on. Right now we don't need it. Okay, but I've just included that for later purposes. Okay, and then we're using the add action hook using wp. So wp enqueue scripts hook again, and I'm going ahead and attaching my custom function called Normalize scripts into it. So when the script reaches this hook, wp enqueue scripts, then this custom function will be called, and all of these files will be enqueued, your style sheets and your JavaScript files. Okay, cool. So I think for this video up until now we're good, and if we go on to our site, obviously we have so many errors because we have defined so many functions and things like that, and we haven't used them just yet. Okay, so in the next video we're going to go ahead and talk about further for all of these. Okay.